And you can't outrun a bad diet?
You can't outrun a bad diet. Let's start with I don't believe.
To warus, eh?
I don't believe in
some
diets.
Potatoes. You don't believe in diet. You see why we are good friends.
I don't
this
believe
is why
in
we are flowing together. You don't believe in diets.
I don't believe in diets.
Hey everybody, my name is Angie Murenga. You're watching Just Angie. It's Lifestyle Thursday, and today is the fourth and final part that we're doing with Joseph, who's my trainer, and I'm really grateful for him now. I'm grateful now. When I'm working out, I'm not grateful. The after effects, I'm grateful, but when we're doing the exercise, I don't even want to know. As a matter of fact, I was even saying, can you imagine I have to work out to worship music so that the Lord can encourage me? The Holy Spirit, be praying for me, can encourage me to continue. We have to fill the house with Jesus because, Joseph, honestly. So, leadership. This is one way we tie into leadership. So many different things about leadership. Maybe how a normal session would go. And I think also how many times should somebody work out a week? And then there's once I told you, people say that you can't outrun a bad diet, but you seemed to have another story for that one. So, and then we have to eat what we like. Personally, myself, clearly, we only have one life. We don't know where we're going. All those things are available that we like to eat. So just talk to us about this.
Okay, I'll start with what you've asked about how many times one should work out in a week. So workout, like I said, is very tailored. It has to be very individual, whereby we all work out for different reasons.
Okay.
And for instance, athletes are on a different level. So their workout, what we call, there's something we call the FIT principle, which talks of frequency, intensity, time, and the type of exercises that you should be doing. Okay. Whereby in terms of the frequency is how often would you like to engage in a particular activity, the intensity as well, because a different activity will also dictate what the intensity will be like. For instance, you want to run a long distance, the intensity will be different from you having to run a short distance, because the body gets to a point where it can't cope with whatever you demand that it's going through. So the time and type of exercise, the time is also a variable when it comes to workout, whereby how much time do you have in a day? If you're a professional in a field, you can have maybe the better part of the day to work out. Yeah. So all these things dictate the amount of time, the amount of time you'll need, and the amount of time you need to work out, the amount of time you need in a day, the amount of time you need in a week, all that.
So dependent on your goals.
Dependent on
what you're trying to achieve.
Yes. So based on that, it means you really have to structure deliberately to fit your goals or fit your lifestyle as well. For instance, on a normal day, what would you like to accomplish? I just want to be able to move efficiently, to have my sugars or my balance my day-to-day strenuous office work where I have to sit throughout the day. All that dictates on the activities and how frequent you'll need to do. But with all that, at least 3 to 4 times a week would be ideal. Okay. But if you're working every day as well, you'll need to work on the time that you're spending. At least that you're told to try 30 minutes a day, every day of cardiovascular or physical activity. Okay. And with lifestyle changes as well, and on how you spend your day. Is it an office job? Is it an active job whereby you're up and down? What's the amount of physical activity that you're doing in that? Because on a day-to-day, you're supposed to have at least 10,000 steps a day. But given the setup whereby you sit, maybe you're just a few meters from the car park, in the office, in the house, you're sleeping, you're sitting most of the time. So the body is not adapted to that. Okay. So for you to be able to have effective results, or whichever, what we call it, physical activity to be effective in your life, you have to manipulate it or base it on how your day-to-day activities are. Yes. Okay, that's a good answer. So 3 to 4 times. It's not one size fits all. Yeah, it's not one size fits all, like I said, yeah. Okay. So every day you have to look for also different ways to challenge the body, because the body is very good at adapting. Yeah, let's say for the last 2-3 days you've been running, the body tries to adapt to running. Yes. So you have to really look for professional advice or really put in the work in terms of coming up with an exercise regime.
Yeah, which is varied.
Yes, and for example, when we, the body takes, for you to, when you start an activity, they say there's 21 days of getting
used to it,
to a habit. Yes, for exercise, at least from 6, depending on how intense. For instance, when we talk of professional athletes, from 6 weeks, you start to, the body starts to adapt to a particular activity. Yes, that you've been trying to push it to. But on a normal, 8 to 12 weeks should be the duration for you to have a habit or a routine-based exercise regime. Yeah.
All right. And you can't outrun a bad diet?
You can't outrun a bad diet. Let's start with, I don't believe.
To warus,
I don't believe in
some
diets.
Potatoes. You don't believe in diet. You see why we are good friends.
I don't
this
believe
is why we are
diets.
Flowing together. You don't believe in diets.
I don't believe in diets. What
Really,
I believe
Joseph?
in is a proper and a sustainable, healthy eating plan.
So sustainable and proper might be. It need to be investigated.
Because if you can't sustain it, then it becomes very difficult.
Okay. Yeah. So that's why if you get into diets, that
Yes.
it's not sustainable.
It's not sustainable. So you need something that you can be consistent with for the rest of your life.
So like a lifestyle change.
Yes,
maybe.
a lifestyle change.
And that's why for me, what has worked for me is people don't believe they work, but they work, is the process of eliminating some things. Like I think I eliminated soft drinks. Yeah.
Yes.
I eliminated sugar. I was very shocked that I could eliminate sugar. I was sure that one is not. But the mother, the one that we shall have a hallelujah celebration, is called bread. The day I eliminate bread, we are doing very well. Or flour and gluten and all those things. Because one day I tried to eat gluten-free bread. I might as well go and eat soy. Why would you eat that stuff? It tasted so bad. I could feel the particles. I was like, no. This torture, this is worse than torture. There's no way. We must go and get the proper bread with the gluten, put it in there, we eat it. But you see now, so I don't know, why was I saying that? I was saying that it's sometimes for me what has worked is a process of elimination. Yeah.
So like we said, it's habits and it's about regulation. Because some of us have a sweet tooth. Some of us have something that we really love or wouldn't want to get it off, because there's an effect it has on the brain as well. And it can also be a reward system for yourself.
Yes, like, even emotional eating.
Yes, so it's always good to understand the whole reason why you're doing what it is that you need to do. You don't do it because everyone is doing it, and you don't
because of you and your reasons.
Yes, and the other thing I keep saying is you have to eat based on what your objectives are. For example, you if you know you have an issue with sugars, blood sugar, you have to know how to regulate that and how to have the right meals or eat the right things to enhance that. If you have hypertension, you know what triggers and what pushes you towards high cholesterol and all that. So you try and minimize or regulate, and if you can, you totally eliminate. But it's not a 360-degree turn. You have to make it progressively. So that you get to hit your goals, and you also don't get to fall back to your old habits. So it's about habits that you can sustain.
And I think what I like about exercise, well, because it's about leadership, is it allows you to develop disciplines in other areas of your life, and it really does. Once you have to wake up at a certain time, meet your trainer at 6, 6:30, 7 in the morning, 5, some people, it's now discipline checks in, and then it begins to affect everything else as well. So if you're for watching Netflix and chill until 2 a.m. you have to stop, because at a certain time you have to go to bed, because tomorrow that guy is coming, and let me tell you, it's not going to be pleasant. So you start to even self-regulate yourself, like what activities can I do, what can't I do. People even who consume alcohol once in a while, they'll stop, because that 2-3 is not going to help you in the morning. In the morning, when that trainer is standing there shouting fire, because you're saying, why is everyone shouting? Can you please stop shouting? Stop raising your voice because of that. So I think for me, exercise has caused a lot of discipline in every area of life, because you need to be there. And even not taking a break. Like when I take a break, I make sure that it's not more than a week, 3 sessions only, because I don't want it to get back to its old ways. I want to keep building on the foundation of that exercise. So I think that's a good thing as well.
Okay, something I would love to talk about is nutrition as well. Nutrition is very broad, and it keeps changing as well, because there's science element in nutrition as well. So you also need to know what stage or what level of life you're at, in terms of is it a young kid, is it
someone who's still developing?
Someone who's developing. All that you'll need different nutritional requirements for the body, and once you understand that, you'll really push the body to being in the best state it can be in terms of health.
Okay.
Yes.
And then what's a typical workout? Me, I know mine, but what's a typical workout day? What does a typical workout look like?
Okay, like we said, exercise is very, very deliberate, and there's a lot of science in it, whereby we can be doing two similar movements, but aimed at yielding two different or very different results. And based on an individual, there's also what it is that works for you and what doesn't work for you. So when we talk of exercise, basically there should be a warm-up phase for the exercise. Then there should be an engagement whereby it's you trying to achieve whatever objective it is you have. And then there's the cool down element and the stretching element. Yeah, because you have to cool down so that the body gets back to the what we call homeostasis, or the standard state of balance.
Why do we stretch? Because there's a time you told me, why do we stretch?
Yes.
Why? What are we trying to? Because also you had said once to me that we don't want to say that the diet is not that important, but the exercise is very important, even if you're not getting. Because a lot of people will stop themselves before they start. So they say, now you see, I don't want to exercise because I don't want to look at my diet. But it is better, you are sort of alluding to, you better start the exercise, because it's helping different functions in the body, let's say even for future, for old age, and I guess for that flexibility and mobility. I don't know whether I put it right, but we're having such a conversation.
Yes. There's one rule of thumb saying that goes, a longer muscle is a stronger muscle. So
a longer muscle is a stronger muscle.
Yes. So stretching aids in trying to improve the, let me call it the muscle stretch capacity.
Okay.
Yeah. And once the muscle is longer, it means there's better movement. It lowers the risks of getting injured, and it also improves the functionality of whatever body part that it's aiding in the movement. Yes, so flexibility is very important, because it also brings about what we call the blood flow. Blood flow is partly is when it's like a highway. When you decongest the highway,
then
there's
it's smooth
proper
flow.
there's proper blood flow. So flexibility is very, very vital, and it's not taken or given the amount of attention that it needs. Most people assume that the workout part is the most important.
But the stretching, for me, the stretching, the mobility, elusive sports massage has been the most important part, because I've just been able to move better and feel better and sleep better and just be better, be happy, healthy, whole, and able to do a lot more. And I think I used to stand a lot. There's a season now I'm not doing it, but there's a time I was standing a lot, and therefore the pressure would be very much relieved because of I've been on my feet for long hours. So that one really helped.
So like I said, components of fitness. Every time you're basing your workouts and your workouts regime, you always have to base them on the components, whereby you remember there's flexibility, there's strength, there's endurance. For instance, you standing for long, we've really worked on our strength.
We have.
So strength means you're creating strength on the muscles around a particular joint. So once the muscles are strong, they all aid or support the joint in performing its function. Let's say when you're standing, there's a lot of pressure, yes. But the fact that you've strengthened the muscles around the joint, it really makes, relieves or eases up the burden on the joint.
You're preaching to the choir. Because remember, I used to stand and I'd feel the pain, but now I can stand for long hours. Even the bending, picking, lifting, hey, I was shocked. I can do a lot. And that's what I've loved about the exercise, and that's why I wanted to bring you here, so that many more people can be able to benefit from Joseph. But I don't know, how are you going to clone yourself? Because if they all call, what are you going to do? You are a limited resource.
we will do the best we can, because
What
that's
you
part
have.
of the vision.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And there's something else I wanted to say, but I think now I've forgotten what it is. But yeah, but definitely standing, sitting, stretching has been really great for me. And I've been able to do more and endure more, because I guess that's what you said, endurance.
Yes.
I'm the poster child. You need to make a poster and put me at the poster child, because I've been able to endure a lot more, and been able to do a lot more just because of the exercise. So that is good. I'm wondering whether there's anything else. Yeah, my coffee, you should clap for me.
Yes.
Joseph, you're about to touch a bit more, but you should clap for me first today. What else would I want to say? Yeah, so I think anyway, the most important thing is people have to stretch, they have to work out. I think it's a leadership decision. It produces discipline in other areas of your life. You need to gain that endurance, and I think you owe it to yourself. I had a mentor who used to tell me, if you look after your body the first 30 years of your life, it will look after you the next 30. But the problem is sometimes we forget that, first of all, the people who look deceivingly small are usually the ones who have the most problems, because they have deceived themselves that they are healthy, because you are the, what is it, is that the right weight? But you are deceiving yourself. You need to know, can you bend, can you reach, can you run, how's your heart doing? I think also exercise helps in sleep.
Yes,
you
yes,
definitely sleep better, sleep less, and don't get up so tired. You shouldn't wake up feeling so tired, you should be refreshed.
For sure. Sleep is also a very key component, and it also helps in terms of stress management. So exercise helps with your sleep, it helps with your stress management as well, because there's also something that's been talked about a lot, which is dementia. Exercise is also a very good tool in terms of curbing and trying to improve and prevent and manage dementia in the old age. Yes.
Okay, and because of modeling, and because I'm a great believer in modeling, I was just going to say, which is good, I've just been reminded that I watched my mom exercise. My mom would go to the gym. She stopped going maybe in her 70s, 70, 72. You told me the idea, I know you told me that story, but 72, 73 is when my mom stopped. She would be in the gym 3 times a week, and that's how I started going to the gym. And even Althea, my daughter, started working out. So we have been people who work out. So I think it's also important to model to another generation.
Very
you know,
true.
my mom actually, I think now she's 80. That's when she's like not so much, but she would be in the gym 3 times a week, every week for I don't know how many years. And so I also now, because it was modeled, I was there. I told you I used to do double step. You know, don't believe, double step, 2 steps, and we were on the move. I used to be serious on terms of exercise. And when you said consistency, that's what I thought. I've been consistent despite having more weight than normal. I've been very consistent in exercising. And if that was the only answer, I'd be very happy. You cannot beat me. I will do everything that needs to be done if it was just the exercise component. But now there's the food component, there's the lifestyle component. That is where we are a work in progress. But yeah, so I like that it was modeled, because now I see my daughter also. She works out. You always know when she's going out to do her workouts, because it's something that has been modeled. So I think in terms of leadership, we owe it to the generation to be able to model to them what are the good choices to make in terms of exercising and working out and doing something good with your life. Do you have a closing statement, Joseph?
Yes.
Thank you.
How do I put it? Exercise is good, and doing the right things, having a proper schedule is very good. And exercise is not just limited to those people that are fit. Exercise should also be incorporated for the special population. And that should entail like accessibility as well. Persons with disabilities, we have the elderly population, all those should be incorporated. All those people or individuals should be incorporated into keeping fit. Because if it works for you, like you said, you'll pass it to the next generation. Who will also pass to the next generation.
Yeah.
So every time just focus on the components of exercise and work based on that, because if you don't do the right things, it could have a negative effect than
definitely
what would be expected for exercise.
Yeah. And then I was going to ask, maybe the last question is, for me, this works for me, I don't know whether it works for other people, but after we've done a number of sessions, I just want to swim, because I think they say that swimming it relaxes and then it works every muscle. Because I found that if I've worked out, even if I've done 2 or 3 months, I just feel the urge to go and enter water and swim, and then I feel good and rejuvenated. Do you have any comments about that?
Yes, when we talk of swimming, there are some few principles or components that come into play when we talk of sports. Because we've talked of the 5 that are there for fitness, but when we talk of sports, we have coordination, we have other balance, which are not the typical or the basic elements or components of fitness. So when you talk of swimming, swimming is good, yes, and it incorporates like almost all the muscles that you have in the body, and it also incorporates the element of cardiovascular endurance.
The breathing as well.
Yeah, and most importantly, it also brings about coordination, because you need to know what hand to pull when you're doing what stroke. So it's also very good to try and incorporate as many different activities so that the body gets to adapt and learn through very many different activities that activate the neuromuscular transmitters in different setups.
Okay. Does it relax the muscles in English?
Swimming, let me put it like this. When we talk of swimming, if you're doing it professionally, or if you've tried swimming professionally, it's not fun. But if you look at swimmers, they also have a very good physique. So it means it works. And mark you sweat while you're swimming. It's not that, it's just
really?
that it's
it's
not.
Just because you're in the water?
You're in the water, yes. So it's a very demanding activity. And yes, I believe there's an element of calm that comes with being in the water. Just like walking in the sea, having the view and having the ocean splash.
Water is refreshing.
Yeah, water is just
And then finally, I've just thought about it. What about working? I know it will be individual, but what about when somebody's pregnant, expecting?
Yes.
Are they exercises that they can, that time they have to be very careful. They really must engage a professional.
Yes, I've handled a few of the cases. Expectant individuals are under what we call the special population. I've talked of the special population as well. But they have to have, one of the things to consider is it has to start early. Because I believe...
Like start before the pregnancy event?
Yeah, as in all that dictates the amount of activities that
you can do during.
Yeah, we've seen individuals who've been fit, doing some very
crazy
intense
exercises,
workouts during...
There's one you told me the person should have punched you.
Yes. So
but they were very fit before.
Yes, they were.
Because they were turning tires and they're pregnant, Joseph.
Yes. Yeah. So it's a journey, and you have to really pre-plan for it.
Okay.
And also, which also helps in you getting back, or the body recovering after the whole process of expectancy to pre and post natal.
And then the last one, I know we've taken a lot of time, but you tell me there's one of your lecturers who's in her 70s, who looks how young?
Oh, 16.
16, Joseph, maybe 30. But she looks much younger than her age.
Yeah,
she was one of your lecturers, and she's one who applies what she's teaching.
Yes, and she works out to date. So it's...
and she's in her 70s now.
Yes. So it's very good to also practice and preach. And you'll always have motivation to keep doing it if you're seeing the benefits at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And one of her motivation was she doesn't want to bug people. She wants to be independent till her last day.
Yes, I always remember my favorite bishop who always says, thank God this morning I showered myself, dressed myself. You know, I don't want to be a burden. I did all that by myself. And I think that's important. And that's what we're trying to say. You may be young and able to do that now, but what we're trying to do is say, you need to be able to continue that even in your old age and not be a burden to anyone. So you wake up, brush your teeth, wash your face, dress yourself and move. You don't need any activity, but you're going to have to be deliberate and pre-plan so that that is something that continues in your life. And I know that this video, it has helped someone. It is very important to help people. People need to get up and do something and do some sort of activity.
Yeah. So exercise, physical activity is more of an investment for the future.
It definitely is. And then investing in a personal trainer, because also Joseph is not cheap, and that's good. I was going to say that. You know, I'm tired of these cheap things, cheap costs, yeah? He's not cheap, yeah? So, and you have to be deliberate. And you can see he only has a certain amount of hours in the day. He needs to be paid for his work. This is his work. This is his calling and his purpose. But yeah, it's in making an investment in yourself, but also it's very important to have a personal trainer. I think there was a time in my life when I was disciplined. Then I don't know where the discipline went. I was like, it's never that serious. But the thought that Joseph is arriving in the morning, oh my gosh, you have to get yourself, jikokota yourself, get ready, get dressed, and open the door, and then he's good morning, and I'm like, I'm not even answering that. There's no morning. It's not good. What is good about the morning? And then, but it's because I know you're coming. I'm not going to get out of this. If I try to tell him I'm not going to be available, he will be standing there disturbing everyone in the morning. It's so sad. But that's the goodness of the personal trainer. They'll make you get up and do the exercise. And then the second thing is all the things that I'm always protesting, I cannot possibly do that. Are you crazy? I do them. So that shocks me. So I'm able to push my body beyond what in my capacity, I'm like, there's no way I can do this. Yeah. And then with the way that I'm feeling and looking, I really feel good and I'm really grateful. And that's why I needed to share you with the world. You know me, when I find something good, let's tell the whole world about it. So I'm really grateful that you came here, Joseph, today.
Thank you.
And Joseph is a really excellent trainer. We may not be friends most of the time during the workout hour, where there's no friendship there. As a matter of fact, if anybody can help me, we have to say this one, Joseph. I need to print a t-shirt written Punisher, Destroyer. What was the third thing? Because there's Punisher, Destroyer, there's another. You have to remind me the third one.
Gets the job done.
No, not gets the job done. Okay, we can have that as the positive balance. But surely, painful hands. But these terms, these are weapons of mass destruction. But anyway, I'm happy and I'm here and I'm really enjoying myself and enjoying my life. And I must say that that is also due to the exercise that we have been doing. So thank you so much for coming on the set today. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you've learned. Please learn. Please do what we're saying to what we're asking you to do. Exercise is really, really key to your health, to your ability, and to your leadership, and to getting everything that you need to do to get done with life, and it will be a better life. God bless you. Take care. Bye.